everyone, it is V here, and it is Friday, which means it's time for another Paint and Slay, and as you can tell, I have more than just Lauren above me. Today we have joining us the lovely Jasmine. Hi, Jasmine.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here.
No.
I love minis. I love painting.
No, perfect.
And you're in the right place.
Exactly. This is the place to be if you love minis and you love painting. And we also love this absolute cutie pie that is sitting over here that Jasmine helped us create as our March charity familiar. Everyone, if you haven't heard yet, you have Isra the Horned Toad available right now in game, and all purchases from the net proceeds of the first week will be going to Girls Who Code. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Isra. We're going to be talking about some adorable little minis. But Lauren, what else do we have going on that's kind of cool and fun to talk about before we get started?
There's so much. I believe Monday there's a very special thing happening. It is the finale of Idol Champions Presents Fury of the Black Rose. So you definitely want to come on by. If you can watch live, I highly recommend it, because then you get to enter for all of the fun giveaways that we have, and also see all of the ridiculousness that's going to happen live, because it's the finale. And if you think B-Dave wasn't holding back beforehand, I'm sure there's going to be even more happening then. So definitely come by. That is 10 a.m. Pacific.
B-Dave holding back? That's not.
No.
Just a little bit, just to get to that final episode, just a tiny bit. So yeah, that's 10 a.m. Pacific on this channel, and then there will be the rebroadcast at 4 p.m. So if you do miss it, you'll get that chance, and it'll be up on the YouTube the next day.
Sweet. All right. So I say we get started now and have some fun painting, because thanks to WizKids, they have once again sent us some really adorable minis, and they're quite thematically appropriate, because we're going to be painting these wee little Grung. So it's actually a set of 3 that you'll get in the set, and this is again from the WizKids D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures Grungs. So you'll get, it looks like 4 minis, but the one actually assembles together, and then you get 2 more. So we're going to focus on this cutie pie that sits on the wall, but I thought it'd be fun to do this one because it reminded me so much of Isra's little key art pose.
Yeah.
So we're also going to be giving this sort of the lovely orangey brown treatment that Isra has in her own art as well. And the other cool thing, as I'm sure the regulars are noticing, we have another mini cam happening too, because Jasmine is also a mini painter and does mini painting streams. We have it set up so we can show off what Jasmine is doing too.
Yes.
So this is sort of like mini painting inception. We have mini painting cam over mini painting cam, and we're going to keep going because we can
get a live, sort of comparison of how much better yours is.
Stop. I've seen your mini painting work. You definitely have some great stuff out there.
I am a believer in the slap chop method, where you dry brush and then you just
long fingers.
I mean, if it works and you like it, then that's all that matters, right?
And we're good. All right, then I think you're actually going to like what we're going to be doing today, because I wanted to work on, I call it my shadow layers, and it's this technique that builds undertones first before we start putting glazes of color over it. Works super well with tiny little minis like this that have great details, but sometimes can be intimidating to paint in small detail. So that's what we're going to be doing with these 2 today. So we're going to be alternating between the Grung itself and the Grung's stand. So if you both are ready, what do you say we start getting some colors onto these 2
I'm ready.
little minis?
I'm excited.
Awesome. Okay,
I'm very ready,
cool.
and I'm sure I'm going to drop this thing 12 times, but that's okay.
You won't be alone in that one. So the first thing you're going to want to grab from the WizKids Prismatic Paint Sets, remember we're using both beginner and intermediate, we want the dark flesh tone, which is this lovely dark reddish brown. So we're going to start with that. Thin it out just a little bit if it comes out thicker than toothpaste. You know I like to use my food references to give you a gauge. Because you want to thin that out to be like warm maple syrup. And the reason being, especially because these are so small, you don't want to overload these. And the other important thing to keep in mind is, because this is a fit together miniature, you can see there are these 2 open posts right here that we want to be sure we're not getting too much paint, if any, in there, because it will also lock into where you see these little notches on the bottom of the Grung's foot. So just an FYI there as we go to paint. So we're going to take dark flesh tone, and we're going to paint the Grung entirely with dark flesh tone, except for those little nubs at the bottom of its feet.
Okay.
I'm about to say something very chaotic.
Go for it.
The Vallejo paint smells so good, but you're not supposed to sniff them, so don't do that. But they like
They do sometimes have like this almost like rosy floral scent. Some of the
yes, and I know we're not supposed to
Don't-
smell them.
We do not condone the sniffing of paint, but you might notice a
No.
pleasant aroma. How's that?
Yeah, when I shook it and cracked it open, I was like, "There's that Vallejo scent."
Mhm. There is a craft paint, and I don't know if it's because of the names of the paints, but a lot of those paints have food names like key lime pie and stuff. And one of them, it's like chocolate something or other. And I swear to God, I opened that bottle and I smelled chocolate every single time. I think it's the power of suggestion, but yeah,
Maybe.
paints definitely sometimes
yeah.
have their own unique aromas, for sure. It's
I'm
so
just
funny
glad
to
it's
mention that.
pleasant aromas and not the kind that you crack open and go, all
Ew,
right,
I
well, I need,
mean-
oof.
Sometimes that can happen, but normally it's short-lived. All right, so my little trick for painting this cutie pie is going to be I'm going to hold it by 1 foot, paint everything else starting from the top, and that way by the time I get to the rest of this, I can gently hold the head and then finish painting that little foot.
Oh.
Because
And when you say everything, do you mean
The whole
the
mini.
grung or, okay.
the grung itself, all of the grung. So the grung, the armor, the armor, I'm going to say quote unquote, and the weapons. So it gets the whole dark flesh tone treatment.
Oh, that's so easy too.
Yeah.
This will be the
I was
easiest part.
I was avoiding those things at first.
No, this is why I like these shadow layer tricks on the smaller things, because you start off doing broader paint and then go in and do glazes to get those little details, and it's a little bit easier to control.
Control is good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that I actually have fingernails to use to grab this because it is so small.
It's
A
tiny.
little foot.
It's a wee bitty foot. Okay, so as we're painting this cutie pie, Jasmine, how did you come up with the idea for this adorable infernal horned toad? Because that was such a fun concept when you started to talk about it at the design call.
It's actually like when you hear, you're not gonna think it's that creative. I'm a big fan of Mr. Toad. The crazy Mr. Toad that
Oh, from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
yes from
Yes!
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. That's
Okay.
my favorite ride at Disneyland.
Oh,
And I
cool.
just love Mr. Toad. There's something about him, and like, you know, yeah, he's a really rich guy that could probably use his money better. But there's like this carefree spirit and way that he just like sets his mind to things, and everybody tells him, Mr. Toad, no, don't do that. You should not get a car. You will crash it. You'll kill yourself. And he's like, I'm gonna do it though because I believe. And he's an inspiration to me. And that was kind of the inspiration for Isra when we started talking about her, because I feel like women especially are not encouraged to have that crazy streak, if that makes sense. Like I feel like we're oftentimes told to be more practical, and so I wanted to make a you know a
free
feminine
spirit.
a feminine Mr. Toad to inspire people to just, you know, go with the flow and shoot blood from your eyes, you know.
Okay, you have to explain what the shoot blood from eyes is.
So while doing research on this horned toad, because I just thought it looked cool, I found out that as a defense mechanism, they shoot blood from their eyes. It's just like a fire hose. And I once again thought that
Wow.
was very metal.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
I mean, it would
actually
deter
think-
me.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
I mean, face it, if someone comes up to you and they angy and they're shooting streams of blood at you, you're not sticking around for a conversation.
No.
It's such a good way to get your point across.
Oh my gosh. So their exclamation point. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
see,
love the
I
idea of
think-
like someone catcalling a cute infernal toad, horned toad, and them getting
Nope.
yeah,
A
getting
very
blood
firm
shot
nope.
out of their eyes.
Ugh.
Not bloodshot eyes, bloodshot out of the eyes.
I mean, I'd imagine the toad probably has bloodshot eyes at that point, right? But that's
Yeah.
but then they've
yeah.
been badass, so who cares?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They've gotten their point across. They can go and get some Visine later.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, just to be safe and reiterate, this is a pre-recorded stream. So for those of you who might have questions in the chat, sorry. May I highly encourage you to check out Google?
To whoever is moderating this episode, thank you. Thank you for helping out, because I'm sure they're going to be answering lots of questions in chat.
Yeah. I actually think that is a fascinating story for the behind the scenes of Isra.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that is very creative. So then the whole look of Isra with the cute little vest and everything, that definitely ties into the whole inspiration from a little nod to Mr. Toad too, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, oh, I kind of want to. I also went through like I don't want to say a phase, because I still do it, but I love dressing up in well, I don't want to say men's formal wear, because I don't think clothing has a gender, but I like dressing up because when I went to school in India, we always had a uniform. And I didn't think that was like strange or weird to wear a tie until I moved here, and people would comment on me wearing a tie and be like, oh, that's so andro of you and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I just grew up wearing a tie, because it was just, there was no distinction between a boys and a girl's uniform. You both had to have handkerchiefs, you both had to have a tie, you had to polish your shoes, otherwise you had to pick up garbage out of the out of
Roman
the
Catholic schoolgirl here, so
our playground was spotless. I'll say
yeah.
I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
Because there were a lot of kids who didn't polish their shoes. So like there's a part of me that loves the idea, like when I knew that the charity we were designing this familiar for was Girls Who Code. Like I don't know, I thought of that for a moment, of like how like sometimes we feel pressured when you're in any kind of STEM field to either defeminize yourself to fit in, or you get judged by people for not being feminine enough. And so I was like, let's create a familiar that is unapologetically, themselves, and doesn't really adhere to norms, wears clothing that they find practical, that they like. And so
because it looks adorable.
I love a horned toad in a plaid vest. I think
oh my god,
it's the serve.
It is too dang sweet.
And since
I
you brought up
my base layer here, do I start on the wall now?
So yeah, we're gonna jump to the wall, but we're actually gonna shift to a different color, and I'm just about done myself here. We want to make sure this dries too, so I'm gonna let the cutie pie Grung live out of frame right now, because I have a nice little metal surface where the paint won't stick that I'm gonna put that on right now. So if you're done with that, we're going to grab black, straight up black, and we're going to paint the stand completely black. So cue music reference here.
Yep. We see a stand for the Grung, and we want to paint it black. Yep.
I mean, always.
What's the difference between black and black pudding? I haven't.
The tone. Black pudding has more of a bluish undertone to it.
Oh.
So there is a difference to it. It's black is more of a true neutral. The black pudding and the displacer beasts, because they look almost black themselves, but they actually have different undertones to them.
Cool.
Yes.
My cat wants to get on the desk. Cat, no, you
Kitty.
cannot.
As is a tradition here on Paint and Slay.
I mean,
cats always want to join in the fun.
The chat will not be upset to see another cat.
No.
My kitty is not allowed on the desk when I'm painting, because he likes to try to drink paint water.
Oh no.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Baby.
Yeah. He has water. He has fresh water. He can go drink, but he's like, that paint water looks,
hydrate, right?
It looks spicy.
Why is the water spicy?
And the more you say no, the more the cat's like, but now it must be something real good if you don't want me to drink it.
Yeah, it's probably delicious because she's not sharing it.
Forbidden water. Now, I also thinned my black out as well, because kind of treating this more as like we want it to get into those nooks and crannies without overloading. So, hold on. Except I got a little too much water. There we go. So yeah, same thing. Paint this up, and then just make sure you avoid those little posty spots. You don't want to get paint in there. At least big globs of it.
I feel like most of these paints, and it's probably a good thing because it means they'll last longer, they all need just like a little bit of thinning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they just come thick in the bottle or what, but I've just gotten into the habit of every time I pick up one of these little tiny bottles, grab the eyedropper and just add some water because they all come out thick.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Which means you got a long way to go before using up your bottles of paint, which no complaints here.
Yeah.
But you can see this is kind of helping pop out the detail, but also getting our base color down for that brick wall. Because we're going to be doing this grung in lovely warm tones and then have the wall kind of keep to the cool grays so they offset each other nicely.
Oh. I'm gonna avoid the footholes.
Yeah. And very worst case scenario, if for some reason you do get paint into that, what you can do is soak a toothpick in acetone-based nail polish remover and insert the tip of the toothpick into the opening, and that'll help remove some of the paint. Just be very careful about it.
I'm doing my best, but I might have to. We'll see. We'll see when I try to actually mount the grung what happens, and if it argues with me, then I'll probably have to go grab some toothpicks.
Yes, that's totally cool. Or you can always file down the footholds on the grung itself.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you can try and get the paint out from the openings, or just remove some of the excess paint around the foot pegs.
I
There are
probably
ways around
err
it.
on the side of caution when it comes to watering down my paint. I like it really watery and really runny.
Not a problem with that at all. Thinner is always better when it comes to mini painting, because if you put too much on and it starts to dry up and clump on you, then it's really a lot harder to go back and fix that.
I feel like it also like flows into the details a lot
It
better, and this
does.
mini has like all these fun little details that
Mm-hmm.
helps you kind of like understand what you're seeing. That's why I love a good dry brush too, because sometimes like when a mini's like freshly primed, you have no clue what you're looking at.
Right?
Like is that a flashlight on their back? Is that a bedroll? And then once you like get a nice watered down paint on there, like the details start to pop and you start
Oh,
to see
yeah.
like
Yeah. I mean, there are times I'll even suggest beginner painters to just do a black wash on their mini first and then go in and start painting it, because it's an insurance policy. It gets into those little nooks and crannies that you may not be able to reach as well in the beginning, but it also acts as visual cues for what exactly you're looking at and will be painting.
Yeah.
I've successfully gotten it all over my fingers.
Yeah. That is.
Same.
Yep.
Same.
Did
mean,
I,
I just kinda-
almost put my paintbrush in my coffee? I did. I
Oh,
almost
yeah, that can be a thing. That can be a thing.
I
Alright, so
feel like I've
that.
probably consumed more paint than my cat over the years just by accidentally dipping my paintbrushes.
Yeah, I
in my
also tip my
coffee.
paintbrushes with my tongue, so sometimes that can be an issue. I have tried so hard not to tip my brushes, and I can't help it.
Yep. And she
Okay.
always afterwards she'll do a lick and then there's the stop and the look of horror into the camera. She's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that."
I do it, but you know. Okay, so this is the stand with that layer of black, which we want to have dry.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have some fun with some dry brushing. Speaking of dry brushing, and you're going to want leather brown, which is this lovely darker tan from the Prismatic paint line. And we're going to dry brush this all over the grung again. Again, avoiding those little nubbins at the bottom.
Is that the official term for it? Nubbins?
No, that's just a word I like to say because it sounds cute.
I did not mix up this leather brown enough, and that was watery.
Uh-oh.
That might
Yeah, that
not
could
be
be a
one that
thing.
I'm gonna water down.
Yeah, I think this one came out thin last time for me. Actually, it doesn't want to come out. I think I was a bad painter and I didn't clean the nozzle of this properly, and then I just got a plug. Yep, I did. Oops.
There it is. And we're gonna dry brush this on Little Grung.
The grung. Little grunklin. Oh, I like that. Grunklin. That could be a name. Grunklin.
There you go. You've just named your grung. Done. It's as easy as that.
Who's this? This is Grunklin. Oh my gosh. So I'm just using a smaller, basic flat brush to do the dry brushing.
And all over, you said.
The whole
Okay.
thing. And this is going to help bring out those details just a little bit more. Same thing. I'm going to hold a little foot while I dry brush it. And then once I get the rest of it, I'll then go in and take care of the little foot. But you can see already this is helping pop out more of those details.
So getting back to your awesome familiar, because you mentioned Girls Who Code. For those that might not be familiar with that charity, what is Girls Who Code and what do they do?
Yeah, Girls Who Code is a charity that helps women get careers in STEM. Fun fact, I actually went to school for chemical engineering for a little while, and I was one of 2 girls in my class. There are not a lot of women in STEM-based fields for a lot of different reasons, and it can actually be a bit of a hostile environment to work in. And organizations like Girls Who Code are working to change that so that women are better represented in fields where we need them. I think sometimes, you know, a femme perspective is invaluable, honestly.
Absolutely. And there's going to be so many kids out there who they're going to see that they can do something in a STEM related field and want to get into it. And then we're just going to have a bigger pool of awesome people doing some of the things we really need people to do.
Yeah.
Just having access to more brilliant people. And also, I think I just painted my fingernail instead of the mini while I was thinking about Girls Who Code.
I mean, I've been there, done that. We're good. Unexpected manicure.
Yep. This is just what my finger is going to be the color of now. Oh well.
Need a little more leather brown.
There you go. Okay.
I'm also trying to be
gonna
careful
leave this
because I feel
be.
like everywhere I touch, I'm also accidentally taking some of the paint off.
You do need to be careful with that, yeah. So I'm gonna set mine down now and let that dry because it looks like we will be doing one more round of dry brushing on the grung. So you don't want to overload it. This is sort of a mid-tone layer of shadowing.
Okay.
But we definitely want that to dry before we move on. And then let me check and see.
I'm almost done. I just got to get the leafy outfit in between the legs I'm trying to get at here.
You're getting in between its legs?
I know. Yeah. I know. Just going everywhere with this grung.
Oh, God.
I mean, wait till we start having to paint armpits. At least this one only has 2.
Pities, right? I mean, we've had other ones that are just, what was that? The
multiple armpits?
Yeah, the Remoraz had quite a few.
Oh.
Yeah, it did. The
Why do I feel like their
Carrion
deodorant
crawler
budget
had a little
is probably
bit of that
crazy.
Right?
Yeah. Like the deodorant budget is like probably most of their money, really, truly.
I think so. Although they do live in cold environments, maybe not so much. Although they get hot under the collar, so maybe they might be one of those people who they sweat even though it's cold out. Or creatures.
There's people sometimes scary. I was gonna say there are people like that too, and they're kind of scary.
No, see, for me, people like that are the people I need to find during the winter because I run so flippin' cold. I'm like, you emit heat, come here.
Yeah, I'm perpetually cold.
Oh, I'm
perpetually cold.
It is so bad. I'm like, I am of the freezing. It's like it's 50 out. No, I'm of the freezing.
And it's been snowing recently in the Seattle area, and I don't like it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't like it.
Absolutely nope. Okay,
I don't have a consistent temperature as far as like I'm always hot, I'm always cold, but whatever it is, it takes me forever to get out of it. So if I get cold, it takes forever to warm up. If I get hot, it takes forever to cool down. My internal temperature just gets like stuck somewhere. So
oh no.
It's like I don't know anymore.
Yep.
Gray ooze.
Yes, so we're gonna go for gray ooze, which is just a classic gray tone. I just like the name, gray ooze.
Yeah, the names on these are amazing.
Uh-huh. And we're going to dry brush the stand, all of it. To bring out those details. I think I'm going to go for a slightly larger flat brush, though, because it's not as small. So, just comparison to see what I did different here. This is what I use in the grung. This is what I'm going to use on the stand.
I need to get myself a smaller flat brush. I don't have one that is as
Tiny.
mini as some of the actual paintbrushes that I have.
Yeah.
Although this is probably one of the smallest minis we've done.
This is
like
yeah. Well, we did the gazer, right? We did the gazer with the beholder.
Yeah, I
That
guess
was
that's
small.
true. The skeletons are pretty small.
How many minis have you painted thus
Gosh,
far?
a good number for this show because this
Yeah,
is
a couple
episode
dozen.
64. Yeah, at least a couple dozen.
I'd have to go back and actually count because most of the time we're taking 2 episodes, I think, on average, but we've done the Young Green Dragon, which took a good 4 or 5. We
Right.
did a couple beholders that took a couple, but then we also did like the skeleton speed paint, which was 2 skeletons
2,
in
yeah.
one episode. Go have fun.
Go do.
And that was the same with the Myconids.
The Myconids were 2 episodes.
So yeah, we
It
probably
varies, yeah.
probably a good 30 or so. I'm looking back there because that's where the vast majority of mine are displayed.
I'm sure
have to
someone in
actually
the
do
chat is
accounting.
probably replying like ding 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 ding.
Yeah. Someone's got it. Someone in
You're
chat.
both wrong.
Wouldn't be the first time.
What didn't we win today?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, and
look
I
at
still
the
have to
fun
catch up on
details.
the nightmare that you did when we were gone that one week.
That was a fun one to do though. I was not mad at that one. That was a fun chill one to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that takes care of the stand. You can see it start to bringing out the details and bringing in that lovely, almost like a cinder block gray to the bricks, which is what we want.
My black was still a little wet, but honestly, it kind of led to like a wet blending that I like the end result of. So
Yep.
Nice.
yeah, I don't hate it. I was nervous when I started dry brushing and the black started picking up, but then it just wet blended out, so it
Yeah.
actually looks
Creates
pretty
like
good.
this neat textural interest to the paint colors. So that's gonna go to the side and dry. And now we're gonna go back to the grung.
Back to the ground.
Back to the grung.
Grungling.
And snag the grungling, the grunkle, and grab bone
Grunkle.
white, which is a beige.
Hey, there we go.
Bone white. Ta-dum.
This might officially be the most colorful my paper plate's going to be after a mini. It can be
Are you
a
paper
lot.
plating it?
Oh,
yeah, I haven't bought a wet palette or something like that just yet. So I have the paper plate. I'm demonstrating for those of us who are beginners who have bought all of the beginner stuff. Oh, here we go. I got a drink on our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions, where you can find all of the basic supplies that we use for basically all these paints. What we've picked up some other things along the way, like we're using the prismatic paints, but pretty much everything you need you can get from that initial set of paints and brushes and a bunch of paper towels and paper plates and paper cups. And now we're
Yeah.
looking for paper.
My first wet palette was actually just a piece of Tupperware, and you can put
Yes.
a folded up paper towel in it that's wet, and then just put a piece of parchment paper over
paper.
that. Yeah.
Ah.
Yep.
lot cheaper
The
than a
old
wet
school put it
palette.
when wet pellets was
Yeah.
first becoming a thing. I remember that. Create your own. Yep.
Yeah. They're very, very cheap, easy to replace if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm gonna go in with bone white. Same thing, getting all of the grung. And this is
All right.
really gonna start featuring the smaller, minute details.
And once again, all of it, the whole thing.
All of it, except for the
Okay.
little nubbins on the feet.
All right, come here, foot. Come here. Nope. Aha.
1 foot, 2 foot.
There's also going to be the problem with painting over the paper plate that's going to be covered in paint is I'm going to drop this grung in a vat
Oh,
of
dear.
paint. It's going to happen. I'm waiting for that moment.
No,
Don't put that energy out there.
Don't
I feel
dip
like-
the grung.
I feel like if I say it's going to happen, then maybe it won't.
Ah, you're like jinxing
Okay, well,
yourself in a
yes.
positive way, like a reverse jinx.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm
like
I'm
that
daring
reverse
myself
karma.
to be that clumsy, which you know what, if it happens, it's okay.
For some reason, because of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I feel like if you dipped your grunkling, he would die.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. That scene where he's like dangling. Was it the shoe?
Yeah.
The shoe
Yeah,
going was like,
and then it's like when I was a kid, that was horrifying.
oh my god, it traumatized me. I was like,
Scary.
cartoon.
It's like, oh my god, they're melting the tunes. And
Right?
I'm imagining you dangling your grung over your paper plate, Lauren,
Oh.
like some kind of villain. Behave. Take to the dry brush, or in you go.
Or you'll get
We're
the
gonna
dip.
dip. What was
Oh,
the
we
name
almost
of that
made a
guy?
Silence of the Lambs reference so close, but I avoided it. But I still mentioned it, so I think I still lose.
We're fine. It's all good.
Oh wow, yeah, the shadows are really popping now.
Mm-hmm.
That is also a
This is
movie
why
I
I
have
love
not
this
thought
for
in a
little
hot
ones.
minute. Thought about, wow.
See,
I
it
just
kept...
watched it for the first time a little while ago, so.
How'd you enjoy it?
I liked aspects of it. I will say I find Hannibal fascinating. I think like okay, I'll say this on this. Not to be too controversial, but I do like that it treats, a villain as a villain. Like it treats Hannibal as a
Yes.
villain, whereas now I can't stomach things like Dahmer and stuff because I feel like they're almost a little glorifying and they make me really uncomfortable. A lot of
Agreed.
modern true crime makes me really uncomfortable, but in that there is no illusion that Hannibal's a good guy or Hannibal does. It's like, no,
He's just
a monster.
misunderstood. No.
he's a
There's no
monster.
misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Oh god, heebie-jeebies at that thought. Nah.
Yeah.
Okay.
think-
So, once you're done with that, then we're going to go to Ghost Gray, which is a very light bluish tone gray. And we're going to go back to the base, the stand, and do one
have to
last round
say,
of dry brush. Yes.
The way I organize these, every time you called out a color and then the next one, it's been right next to like I had Ghost Gray right next to gray.
You
or
you
the
and I have
ooze.
arranged our paints in a very similar way.
They're like right next to each other, able to find it easily.
Yeah.
I'm the oddball out. I've arrayed them far enough apart from each other so that I could take a quick look, but I gotta look through everything. There was no organization. There was this one, this one, this one. I just put them down. This is why I am learning from the both of you, is all these being organized things.
I mean, I have a whole big stash of craft paints down in my basement where there are bins of the separate colors, and the colors are then sequentially arranged from lightness and also undertone. It's
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's fun.
My
There
tip
is-
a little plugged for this one. So
Oh,
I'm
then
trying
if
to-
you have like a pin or something to stab at it,
let's see.
or a safety pin, or a paper clip, toothpick. Heck, even earring posts I've used in the past.
Yeah, because otherwise it is just asking for trouble. I speak from experience.
Just splurt everything out.
That is the technical term, by the way. Splurt.
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 Mm-hmm. When the bottle just like it shoots a plug out and it goes everywhere.
Oh yeah. Because you like applied too much pressure.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I have done that before, but I knew it was going to happen, so I was over a sink, but still.
Yeah. It is definitely a thing that can happen, and quite honestly, I know many of a painter who has had it happen to them, even with years of experience. Sometimes it just unexpectedly goes.
Mm-hmm. There's always that one in a set. There's always the one bottle that has to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I find it's usually lighter colors, so I'm not surprised this one did it to me because
Yeah.
I think there's something about the composition of lighter colors that they're just a little bit thicker than darker colors, but I don't know.
I think it's
just a
because you
working
need
theory
more
I
of
have.
the lighter
Pigment,
pigmentations. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've usually found that like the number one paints that I have to like, I make sure I put a ball bearing in them because they just tend to get gummy.
Yeah.
They're always the lighter colors.
Yep. And yellow is notorious for just doing its own thing.
Yellow. I don't paint minis yellow anymore.
I use it for like today we're gonna be using a yellow for like highlighting purposes, but as the main color, mwah, the rage against the yellow.
Yellow was the one that was my problem child in the last set. That I literally just had to soak the top in some hot water and then grab a pin, and it was problematic all around. It was just it didn't want to give up its paint.
No, it rarely ever does. All right, cool. So that takes care of the layering.
Yay.
So we have both the grung and the stand going, and you can see it pops out the details a lot more.
Yeah.
Make it much easier to see everything going on.
Yeah, we know what we're looking at now.
Yeah, which super duper helps now because we're going to start adding color onto the grung, but we're going to use a glazing method, which is basically you take your paint, you thin it out, and you apply that thin layer over the areas that you want that particular color to go. Cool thing is with glazes, you can build up on them. They have a little bit more punch than a wash, which means it's going to be more hyperpigmented. Pigmented, that's a new one. But it's definitely a fun little way to go about getting color, but also it's going to preserve these highlights and lowlights that we've just created. So you're having to do a little less footwork on your side. So get the orange fire out, which is your classic orange tone.
Okay.
And you're going to want to thin that so it's almost like a chicken broth. You don't want it straight out of the bottle thick. So I'm kind of doing a drop to a drop. If you want ratio to start, I might actually do another drop depending on how this thins out. And I'll show you the type of consistency you want with a swatch on my wrist. And I'm going to move to a smaller detail brush to paint this on, just to have a little bit more control. So FYI on that one. So moving down to something smaller like this.
Okay.
And then to swatch, so you can see how there's the texture on my wrist. And then when I go in for this glaze, you can see it's tinting, but you can also still see the grooves in my skin. So that's how you know you have it just about where you need it to be.
I think I need a little bit more water then. I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'm having trouble getting the lid off of this orange fire.
Oh no.
It's on there.
Okay, so if not orange fire, then grab the Taras carapace.
Oh, that one was right next to this one.
Yep.
There it is.
There you go.
Okay. Oh. It's already coming out.
Hey.
Yeah,
Okay,
it popped off, but yeah. Okay.
And if I'm seeing this correctly, we're going on the body of the grung with this.
We are going on the skin of the grung. Yep.
Okay.
So this
Not
means
everywhere
the
this time.
face. Not everywhere. Nope. This means we're going on the face, the arms, like the upper shoulders, and the one arm has. I think that's. I'm not sure if that's the gauntlet or if that is just the. No, it looks like it's just the mini arm itself. So the arms, the face, and the legs. And there's actually a little bit of abdomen to reach right down in here. See? It's actually a six-pack living there.
Oh, holy cow. I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
Oh, there is a little ab action. Okay. Okay.
That's impressive. I mean, if you're going to cling to walls.
Yeah,
do
probably
need
have to have some core strength.
Yeah.
Yep. This is truth. But yeah, so we're going to get this orangey tone onto the skin. And again, I thought it'd be fun to do orange to kind of nod to Isra, who I'm just going to pop up really quick here so everyone can see, because look at that cutie patootie face.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. I love the happy mouth open grin. Adorable. Adorable.
She's excited to be here.
Aren't we all? So then we talked about creating Isra and the inspiration behind that. What got you, and I like to know this just from my own personal, when I meet other mini painters, what got you into mini painting?
Well, it's a funny story. I kind of painted on and off casually for a while, and was never super into it. Had some interest, but never really like committed, I guess, to like learning or investing in the products and stuff. And I had a very dear friend of mine, Jeff Robinson, who was in the esports and Twitch streaming space, and we had a podcast together. And based off of my book taste, he was like, "Oh, you've got to read some of Dan Abnett's stuff," and kind of got me a little bit into Warhammer. But then he very suddenly and tragically passed, and for me, it was a part of my grief process. Like engaging in the hobby made me just feel closer to him, and it was just a way for me to kind of process that in a way that was healthy. So I started painting and collecting minis, and it started with Warhammer, and since then has expanded out into lots of other things, because this hobby is so vast and there's so many cool ways to engage with it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's how it started. And I'm still going all these years later.
Awesome. That's actually great. I mean, that you have something as sort of a way to connect to someone and also memorialize their memory.
For sure.
Yeah, it gives you like, there's something, it's so small, you know, like even like working on this little grung, they're so tiny, and gives you something to like focus on. And I find the process to be kind of meditative.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so, yeah, it's cool. I love this hobby. It's a good one.
What's the most recent mini you've painted besides these grung?
I actually can't talk about it publicly because it's for this Equest.
Oh, nice.
Which we're shooting very soon. We successfully kickstarted an all South Asian, tabletop campaign, and like I'm some of the miniatures were getting professionally done by the amazing Knox Weiler. But some of them I'm doing myself, and so I can't. It's a secret, Lauren. I can't say it. It'll be spoilers for the show.
Yeah, you're okay. So people are just gonna have to go watch the show, which I'm excited about.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Leave them.
No, absolutely. So I will alter my question then. What's the most recent mini you've painted that you can talk about?
Oh, I think the most recent mini I've painted that I can talk about is for Shikar, and I painted a sort of Nile monitor lizard type of creature that was a lot of fun to paint.
Very cool.
And for those that don't know, Shikar is your D&D game that you have on Tuesdays on your channel, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been running for a while now. We've been going strong for a little bit. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun show. Good people.
Yeah.
We got Gabe on there. I know he's done an Idol Champions character. I'm gonna remember the name.
Solak.
Solak. Yep.
There you go.
He also did a familiar with Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did Marvel the imp. Like, I was gonna say Marvel the miniature. I'm like, no, I'm looking at a miniature, but hey. All right, so once you're done getting that orange on the flesh area, we're gonna have some fun and get the greens and start with livery green and apply it to basically the leaves around the neck and the waist of the grung, but definitely thin this one out. Put my brush down so I can open it. There we go.
I'm almost there. I'm still poking at a few spots that
That's okay.
it took me the extra second to go, wait, is that a leg or is that armor?
Oh, that's absolutely a thing. Is it a this or is it a that?
Yeah. A little bit of this.
If
a little bit of
it's armor, it's leg now. I don't know if it started out as that, but it is now.
There you
This
go.
is where we live.
And I'm sorry, what was that green that you wanted us to grab next?
Liver.
Livery.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I mean, considering the names that are in these, I was totally on board with liver green. Absolutely.
That makes a lot more sense.
I'm gonna call it that.
First,
from
I was
now
like, maybe livers are green.
Well, I mean, don't livers help with the bile production? Or something like
Yeah,
that?
it made sense in my
There we go.
mind. Yeah.
Yes, I'm following. I'm completely following, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, liver green.
Totally liver green.
We're putting this on the leafy armor.
The
right?
leafy bits, yep.
Okay.
And same
again,
thing as a
keep it
glaze,
nice,
is
yeah,
a
keep it
watered
nice
down.
and layer, watered down. You got it. A little is going to go a very long way.
Yeah.
And these are so little, that's not a bad thing.
I feel like
yeah.
I'm always left with a bunch of paint on my palette, though.
Yeah,
I always
me too.
overestimate how much I'm gonna need. Oh no, he got the liver green in his mouth. It's not for you to eat.
But you said it was liver.
True.
Now it just needs the onions. Did you ever
Yeah, I
get
think
subjected
that's-
to liver and onions?
No.
It's been a hot minute.
That
But,
is
you know.
not a dish I recommend.
You know, if you grow up with it, it's not so bad. It's just, for me, it's more that liver is incredibly unhealthy.
Yeah.
Especially chopped liver. Yeah, because all the fat and stuff
Filtering.
that's
Yeah.
been filtered out ends up in liver, and it is incredibly fatty and unhealthy. My mom
I
used
didn't
to
know that.
Yeah, she used to have it as a treat. And a little goes a long way, but it is definitely a acquired taste.
Yeah.
It was that and gefilte fish were the two things that I just could never get my friends to try.
That's fair.
Gefilte fish?
Gefilte fish, yeah. It's some of the fun Jewish things that you grow up with that everybody else goes, wait, what are you eating? And you can only, if you try to get it in at a grocery store where it's been pre-canned, it's always bad. Yeah.
Mhm.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Is there a reason people say, "What am I, chopped liver?"
Oh.
Because you mentioned chopped liver, and that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, I'm
Because
not
it's, like,
sure.
So undesirable. That or it's like, I think it's also liver is one of those meats that you can usually find. Like it's easily overlooked because it's always just there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to the filet mignon.
Yeah, my mom would eat it on like as a sandwich. Little chopped liver on a sandwich.
Well, I mean, that's basically pate.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a flavor.
It is a flavor. Some may like it, some may not. All right, so here we go with the livery green on the neck and the waist. Like I said, a little bit of this stuff goes a very long way.
Yeah. It's such a bright, happy neon green. It's
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think
that's
I
what
may
I wanted
have
to do.
overwatered it a little bit because it's melting together with the brown.
Oops.
Whoopsie doopsie.
Yeah.
Doodles. Okay, that's all right. So then what we're gonna do is keeping up with this livery green. We'll go to the stand and paint the leaves with that. So we have a little bit
here
of
we are.
nod. I just licked my brush. Sorry.
It happened. Add it to the counter.
I did it. Oh God, counter is broke at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, remember when what was it, McDonald's now serving so many whatevers?
Oh, jeez.
Do you remember that? Like they used to have it on their signs, over so many served. And then they
Wait,
just
so now we're
stopped.
adding the green to
the leaves
wall?
on the stands. Yeah, they're little leaves that
Okay.
are on the stand. So we're just painting those leaves with that. And honestly, a little dab will do ya in this case.
Oh, yep.
I'm still finishing up armor. I'll be there
Okay.
momentarily. Like with the legs, I keep finding bits of armor. Then I'm like, oh yeah, that I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Like under this guy's armpit.
Underarm pitties.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just a little touch and it pops it right out.
Yeah.
The leaves.
It worked on the wall very well for me.
Oh, good.
On the little grungy.
Not so much.
I think at that point I overwatered my paint, so it kind of just
Gotcha.
flowed
Yeah.
over into the brown. But
Okay.
I think they're coming along. They're vibing.
Okay, well then just let it sort of chill out and do its thing and
Yeah.
dry, and hopefully it should be okay. If not, there's a little thing we can do to tweak it a little bit for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to put a second coat on mine as well.
So that takes care of that with the green, livery green. Just making sure I got all. Nope, I missed it. Is that a leaf? I think that's a leaf. That's a leaf. So there's a little leaf that's hiding out up here.
Oh, on the
On
side?
the top
Okay.
corner. Yeah. Yeah, that was a leaf. Look at that. So there's a cute little leaf that's hiding up at the top.
Oh yeah. I
Yep.
am really happy with how the base has turned out for me.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty thrilled.
Excellent.
I think I got all the leaves. Okay.
There you go. All right. So if you got all the leaves, we're going to jump back to leather brown and use that to paint the vines on the stand.
Leather brown.
Yeah.
That was the lighter brown, right?
That
Yeah.
was the lighter brown. Yep. It's sort of like a mid-tone tan.
Are we glazing this one too, or just thinning
What
it out?
I'm going to do is mine's actually very thin on its own for what I'm going to do. I tend to keep my paints for little detail work like this slightly thicker for better control.
Okay.
But if you want to thin it out, you can. However, I'm just going straight from the bottle because I find that using that bead of paint that can collect on the tip of your brush, you can actually work that bead to your advantage for fine little details like this. Just by kind of placing that on top of the mini and guiding it along with the motion of the brush.
I'm just going to stretch first before I do this because this is going to be one of those and where in the middle of it. In the middle of it, I'm going to be hunched over if I'm not.
Yeah, limber up. Limber up for the vines.
It's these little tiny details that are
Focus.
the ones that always get me.
Well, that's totally fair because, I mean, it helps to, you know, like I'm doing here, I'm steepling my hands together almost like curled in prayer because it gives your muscles a little bit more control on the finite motion, which is nice. Let me spin my plate. There we go.
I think my base turned out better than my,
Oh, no.
my grung. But that'll make the grung pop, though, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if their paint job isn't perfect, if they're on a really flashy base, it'll bamboozle people into thinking that I'm a brilliant painter.
Stop. You are
Bamboozle.
bamboozled.
Oh, there's like little roots along the bottom, too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some fun little details that hide out in the corners here.
I actually ran out of leather brown. I actually used up what
Ooh.
I'd put on there. I didn't
Well,
think that was
better
going to be
need a little bit
possible.
more than not enough.
I guess so, but I'm still a little surprised.
I'm imagining your paper plate is just swimming in paint.
Oh, yeah, about half of it. Yeah. Especially since I way overdid it on the orange. There's a big a big swath of the orange on there. So, it's even dripping. That's how bad that is.
Oh. Yeah, but that's the fun thing with some palettes is you can save them afterwards, and it's kind of like another connection to your mini when you're done painting them. They look like little bits of art on their own.
I'm definitely going to have to take your advice though and make that cheap wet palette and give that a try because
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're definitely
Just make
getting into
sure.
other minis that I think V would appreciate not having to rush through certain parts of it so that those of us without a wet palette, you know, for mixing purposes for the next episode.
Yeah. Just be sure you have a nice container with a good seal on it.
I actually have a couple of Tupperware that are brand new.
Sweet.
There you go.
Yeah, I did the adult thing and bought new Tupperware and got excited about it. Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
mean, it's
That's how
good
you know
stuff.
you're an adult, when you're like excited
little
about
things.
a pan. Yeah. Like, oh, I got this new pan.
Yep.
And
was so
and
excited
even
for
more than
storage.
that. Yep, even more than that, I got the Tupperware on sale. So it was 100% the most
better.
adult
Got a
thing I think I've
deal?
ever done. Yeah, they were
Deals and storage. I mean,
they were selling them for like pennies because they were the quote unquote Christmas ones. And by Christmas it was just they were red.
Wow.
I would take that anyways because I have a lot of red in my kitchen. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I spent like $5 and I replaced half my Tupperware. It was great.
That's awesome. See?
And oh no, they're red.
Whatever will you
dare.
do?
I know. They don't even have like Christmas motifs on them or anything. It's just you could buy them in red and green, and so they were considered Christmas. And so that was my Christmas present to myself, was the most adult thing I could do.
I was always the frugal gal that had Christmas napkins.
Yeah.
Because you get them so cheap.
After the fact. Oh my
Exactly.
god, yeah. Yep.
Have friends laugh. Like, look at your little snowman napkins. I'm like, listen, I don't even celebrate Christmas. These are cute. They work. You're going to wipe your nose and your mouth on them.
Exactly. Like, go in the garbage. Does it really matter what they look like?
Right? That's why I've never understood why wrapping paper is so expensive. You can throw it in the garbage.
See, that's like Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, one of those dollar deals. That's where you get your wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Or you do what me and a couple of my friends do, which is you get bags, get the like nice bags.
Yeah.
And then everybody just saves the bags and uses the bags for the next gift. We've been trading bags back and forth for years.
I'm here for this. Absolutely here for that. Yes. Yes.
And every once in a while, one of the bags just gets so decrepit because it's already been used so many times that that's part of your gift is I've now
charm.
bought the new bag.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have to buy another bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I have going for the stand with the vines and the leaves. That's so fun. I'm just making
I
sure
might be
got-
with you,
oh,
Jasmine. I
there's
think
a
I'm
little
more
root
proud
there.
of my base than I am of my grung.
I am incredibly proud of my vase. I am.
all about that base. About that base.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous vase.
It is fun.
We'll see how we do on the eyes. If I can manage to get the eyes of this grung to be not cross-eyed or weird looking, if I can get them just right, that usually brings me around to any of the minis that I've been working on.
Totally.
But
fair.
if it's cross-eyed, that's a serve too, you know? That's a choice. As a choice that was made.
A cross-eyed archer, I mean, that's skill.
Yeah.
That's
This
true.
grung has a
Push up.
story now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This could be a little NPC now in a campaign.
Well, who would attack him?
That's just it.
A little cross-eyed miniature? I don't think I could. I'd be like, you know what, little grung?
No. Yup. I'm here for
You're
this.
you're free to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, this is my next piece. He's a grung ranger. I'm here for it.
Cross-eyed grung ranger.
Yep.
Grung Granger.
So good.
Grung Granger. That's cute. That really is sweet. All right, how are you two doing? Ready to shift?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go to the gold yellow and we're going to do a very light dry brushing of this on the grung's skin, like especially like around the mouth to kind of re-highlight that and around the knuckles of the hand.
Oh, jeez.
The sun yellow?
The gold yellow. Sorry, gold yellow, which is
Oh, there it
a
is.
golden yellow.
Dry brushing, you said, right?
Yes, very
Okay.
lightly. Very lightly. Ever so
come hear you.
slightly.
Are you dry enough that if I pick you up, you're not going to get all over my hands?
Hopefully.
Maybe.
My hands are gone. They're shot.
Mine are just
Yeah.
kaleidoscopes of fun. I don't know how many
Yep.
times I've gone to the grocery store after we've done our paint and slay streams, and my hands, like, I've washed them, but I didn't do, like, they sit there and scrub with the hot water and everything. And there have been times we've done, like, the vivid reds, and because I've swatched things on my wrist, I think I've scared some people. It's like, I promise I'm okay, it's just paint.
What's going on over
Yeah.
there?
Like, are you okay? I am perfectly fine. I was painting a mini.
When I was doing the stream right after the D&D game right after our paint and slay, I had to go and scrub my hands and try to find all of the bits of paint because for whatever reason, finding a swath of paint on my hand when I'm in the middle of DMing is the most distracting thing I've found. I don't know why.
Oh.
So we'd be in the middle of a game and I'd look down and I'd notice, oh, I totally missed a whole bit of paint
shoot.
there. And now that's all I can think about. I've never been distracted from DMing so hard than finding paint on my hand. Yeah. So I had to learn real fast. Who knows why.
That's so funny. For me, it's like having a hangnail or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
don't. Mm-mm.
'Cause
Like,
then
I will
just
sit there and
kind of like picking at it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Someone will ask,
Exactly.
so so how far are they? And I'll be sitting there picking at my nails, and they're like,
Like, what?
Jasmine, and I'm like, oh, what? What's the question?
Oh, yeah, the game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That thing we've been doing. Right.
They're 10 feet away.
Yeah, that definitely is a relatable statement.
I'm realizing through this process, I am a lot better at dry brushing than I am at glazing.
Me too. I mean, I've been learning dry brushing since episode 1, but it's been glazing is still fairly new to me.
Yeah.
And trying to find that middle ground between the two has been a challenge.
All right, I'm going to stop there because I like how it's brought out the details, but I don't want to over dry brush. So just lightly, so it looks something like this, but you can see it brings out the mouth a little bit more and the arch of the brows and the toesies and the hands.
Yeah, I'm still working on the hand. I want those fingers.
Totally cool. Get the fingies. Okay, so then this next step, for you, Jasmine, since you had to jump to the carapace, the Tarrasque carapace color, what you can do is jump back over to, let me see here. Actually, you can use Rust Monster for that. Because we're just going to add cute little dots. But Lauren, if you want to use the Tarrasque carapace to just get those little dots on the grungs, I'm going to put it on the top of the head. Just as like some interesting little skin feature.
Oh,
A
okay.
very small detail brush and just do little dots or little splats type of thing.
Where's my Tarrasque?
It's sort of a peachy orange, less vivid than the orange fire.
There you are. There you are.
Almost nectarine or apricot. And I'm just gonna go in and do little bloops. If you
And
want,
I'm using
Lauren,
Rust, right?
yeah, you can use Rust Monster. So you'll have slightly
perfect.
darker dots, but it'll be a similar idea. Just giving the skin some visual interest.
Where's my smallest brush? Okay, here we go.
You can also use a toothpick if you want, Lauren.
I actually finally have a tiny toothbrush, a tiny brush. I also have a tiny toothbrush. But yeah, I got a tiny brush that is smaller than the toothpick, so I'm gonna give that a try.
See, just a few little dots. There's no right or wrong way to put the dots on. Just like that, little dots. It's subtle, but it's a nice little extra touch.
Yeah.
And plus, as this one dries, it gets a little bit more vivid in color, which happens sometimes with oranges. All right, so we're done with that one. And then looks like we are getting to the top of the next hour. So we have new viewers joining us. Hi, we are pre-recorded.
But welcome.
FYI, but welcome. As you can see, we have Jasmine here with us, painting
Hello, new
grungs.
viewers.
And Jasmine is the creator of Isra the Horned Toad familiar, which is available in-game now. So if you get this cutie pie, look at that face, how could you not? If you get this little cutie pie, all net proceeds from the first week will be going to Girls Who Code.
Do it. She's cute.
Oh my god. The cutest. The cutest little
Absolutely.
face. All right. All right,
Dots.
all right.
I'm still dotting.
Dot the eyes, dot, dot. That's totally cool.
Yeah, as we get into more and more details, the quieter we all get.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gotta get into focus mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the two of you were concerned with your leaves. I think this will help you because we're going to go in and do a little bit of, with a small detail brush, we're going to do some dry brushing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean a little, nah, I don't like that one. Hold on, let me find a better. I'll use this one. Something like that.
Oh, so like
Ooh.
itty bitty.
Itty bitty bitty.
Okay.
And we're going to go over to Bullywug Hide. And we're gonna-
Bullywug, huh?
Yes, bullywug. We're going to dry brush that, or just sort of like use the side of your brush and edge the details of the leaves that are on the grung.
Oh, like the armor bits.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, the leaf armor.
For some reason, I was still thinking about the base.
You could do it on those leaves too afterwards if you want.
Okay.
But if you float that along the top, it's going to help bring out that texture that you, because you're both mentioning how it kind of blended a little bit more than you anticipated.
Yeah.
But this should help kind of bring that back out. See, just a little touch.
Ah, I just got it on the arm. No, 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 no. No green on the arm. No.
It's camouflage.
Yeah, it's supposed to be there.
Totally camouflage.
Absolutely. 100% did that on purpose.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's better. I think I got most of it off in time.
There you go. There you go. Starting to feel like Bob Ross speaking to the mini.
Right.
Happy little grung.
There are no mistakes, only happy painting accidents.
Mm-hmm.
He's not cross-eyed. He's supposed to be that way.
He sees the world from different angles.
Yeah, I'm making this Grung Ranger now. This is my next character. I don't know when I need another character for a one-shot, but
Are you gonna
Do
be cross-eyed like for the game?
no. I can only hold on to a cross-eyed look for about 10 seconds, and then I
Headache
think I'm done.
ensues? Yeah.
Yeah, yep, and then folks can use their imaginations.
There you go.
But that's what this mini is for. That
Mm-hmm.
when people ask, "What do you look like?" Burk.
Look at this cutie patootie. So yeah, that's basically going to go on the leaves around the neck and the waist. And if you want, you can take it to the stand and just do a little bit on the leaves. You don't have to. This is purely optional.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, I'll hold you there. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Everything is fine. We're fine.
Yep.
Fine.
That's fine.
His dots came out really good.
Nice.
Nice.
I don't like holding it by the bow because I'm afraid I'm going to bend the arrow, but
Fair.
this is, at this moment, the best I can do.
That's fair. It should be okay. It should be okay.
All right. Stay there.
All right. So now, speaking of the eyes,
Uh-oh.
we're going to go for
Is that
black
time?
pudding. It's that time. We're going to paint the eyes with black pudding.
Puddin.
My partner's been playing through Batman Arkham Asylum, the trilogy of games. They were on super
They're so
duper
good.
sale.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite games.
And it's
Yeah, that Harley, I would say that Joker is my Joker. Like, you know, when people say, oh, it's which version of the Joker is your Joker? I always say Hamill's, like, video game rendition specifically is my Joker.
Yeah.
It's a good one, that is for
Yep.
sure.
And you got Kevin Conroy, and you got it's Tara Strong doing Harley, right?
Doing Harley with the put-in.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going for a really small detail brush. Like we're talking to paint that in.
At least these are, I mean, it's a frog, so they're bigger eyes.
Okay.
All right, chat, we're all going to be quiet as we're painting eyes. So...
Everyone hold your breath.
For a count of 10, then put the mini down and breathe.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually had to start saying that because I was doing painting workshops. And I said, okay, you can hold your breath if you need to steady yourself. And I watched this one fellow hold his breath, thinking he knows to breathe, right? So
he knows when to stop.
I was watching him paint, and then he started listing to the left. And I was like, and breathe. This means you, sir.
That's when you know you've really gotten into the zen of painting, when you forget to breathe.
There's some games you play where it'll be like, oh, when you have your bow drawn, you know, you can hold your breath for more accuracy. And then you see the characters start to shake after a while.
Oh, God.
I'm just imagining that, like, while painting, like your hands just start to shake because you're holding your breath for so long.
Yep. All right. As is tradition, I'm very happy with one of these eyes. And the other one is okay. But I think
that's
it's
like... Go ahead.
It's the kind of okay and where I know trying to fix it is only going to make it worse. So I'm going to put the grung down. Stay there.
See, that's growth.
Grung down.
knowing that, if I do more of this, I'm just going to mess it up.
I'm predicting that line is going to happen in your game when you finally play this Grung Ranger. Someone's going to say, put the grung down and rescue you.
Or this is the moment where the barbarian is going to pick me up and we're going to fastball special.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And that'll be an epic moment.
So is that something you've done as a DM, Jasmine? Like have it where players have like a small and a medium character and they totally want to do the tag team approach for attacks? Have you ever encountered that?
I have, and I allow it. I pay a lot of attention to like the size classes in D&D. And so, and I've actually gotten some flack from audiences on that, but I like it. So, cause I use miniatures a lot. And to me, it's like saying that, oh, this is half cover, but then you see the little goblin player and they're completely obscured by the wall. I'm like, except for you, it's full cover. And I've had people be like, well, why? Like, why? And I'm like, because he's obscured.
Yeah, exactly.
That's full cover. It's like, but it's not full cover for the half elf. No, because I can see the half elf, but I can shoot the half elf.
The half elf is not a halfling.
You got to give the tiny races some bonuses. You got to get the big races some bonuses too. I oftentimes do not make like Loxodons do strength checks if they're using their weight. If they're like, oh, I need to break this, I'm gonna sit on it. I'm like, okay, yeah, you sit on it and it breaks.
Of course you are.
Because you're an elephant person. It would be silly to make you roll a strength saving throw. You're just using physics.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just like basic physics right there that you can apply logically. There's no need for a dice roll there. Agreed. Okay. So while we let the eyes dry, we're going to go for dead flesh, which is this sickly green color. And we're going to just put it onto these little pouches on the back here.
There's pouches?
Yeah, these three little bloop, bloop, bloop. Right there.
Oh,
I see them. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my dead flesh is.
It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out like it looks like decay, grossness.
No,
on
it
the
also
finish?
it also overflowed on the cap, and so when I took it
Oh,
off, it was
no.
just it
Was
was extra
reanimating.
gross. Yeah, right out of the bottle. Ugh.
It's like,
So
listen, I'm gonna
kinda
live up to my
yeah.
name.
So you're kind of gonna do a similar thing with a little detail brush. Is sort of treat it like a dry brush and keep it to the higher points.
Come back here, Grung.
So kind of skim over them with the side of your brush. Just a little bit to make them pop.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That actually
so.
did a lot. Yeah.
And that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need a lot, but a little will go a very long way on your tinier minis.
Yeah.
This is starting to look like something.
Cool.
She said in disbelief.
I painted.
I love that moment.
It's starting to look like something.
Ma, I did a thing. Ma, I did a thing.
Yeah.
I think my paint was a little thick in a place, so I'm gonna try to fix it with a wash as I normally do to bring some of
Yep.
the detail out.
That's fair. That is totally fair. Okay, so next thing we're gonna attack, which sounds so wrong because look at how cute this is. You have it's fletching, right? The end of the arrows, not the pointy side. The fletching sticking out of the quiver. So with that, I'm gonna go in personally with the Banshee White just to kind of make it pop out a little bit. Same thing like we just did with those little pouches. Just use the tip of a detail brush to sort of edge and bring out the
Oh, a little
details.
edge highlight.
Yeah, a little edge highlight there. If you want to do a different color, you can do a different color because Lord knows we have so many of these prismatic paints. But I thought white would be kind of a nice little brightened touch right there.
Did I not pull a Banshee White? What?
Oh.
No. All right.
And it's sort of a grayish tone white. So not as
apparently
crisp
I
and
grabbed a-
pure of a white.
I grabbed a bone white instead of a Banshee White.
Well, I mean, fair. Both begin with a B and have white in it.
Well, you know what? That's what I'm using because
That'll work too.
it is close enough for Jazz. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I'd begin with a B in. Actually, no. I was gonna say, but I was acting like my name was Bronze, and I was gonna say, and I don't have any white, but the joke just didn't land.
It was close.
They're all good.
As I was making it, I just regretted it every step of the way.
That's like where your mouth decides it has an idea and it didn't check with the brain first. It's like, here we go.
It's so funny because like I took I as part of like this community challenge thing, I took a DNA test and realized how ethnically undiverse I am.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
it was like 99.5% like Punjabi, which is interesting because it was like technically I'm only like 5% Indian. And I'm 95% Pakistani, which like shocked everyone in my family that didn't want to believe it. They were like, "What? No, we're Indian." I was like, actually.
Yeah.
Genetically. See, that stuff fascinates me.
I've yet to take one of those tests, but I have wanted to, especially to confirm some of the things that some of the older generations of my family, some of those stories that were told.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like, "Oh, you're Polish on your grandfather's side." Like, well, actually, Dad, we're not. Oh man, getting these feathers is difficult.
yeah, definitely
Yeah.
use the tip of a detail brush and that'll help. Just kind of float it and glide it along. And you should hopefully get a little, just to show off where those arrows are, stuck in the quiver like that.
Yeah, I might have gone a little too thick, but
Okay, well, we will be doing a wash, so that will kind of help you out there.
yeah.
So that'll
So
be
they
good.
definitely pop.
Well, there you go. Once you pop. And then I'm going to take that dead white and I'm going to have fun and just add little highlight dots the eyeballs. If you want to do that, you are welcome to that. You don't have to.
Oh, see, that
This is
just sounds like
optional.
a challenge, though. So here we go. Now I'm
This
gonna
is
have
your
to.
moment to be cross-eyed.
Yeah, there we go.
Just a little bloop. Just a tiny little bloop. Boop. Boop
Alright,
the
let's
ball.
do this.
Eyeballs. There we go. A bloop and bloop.
Yep, there's one.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Not terribly cross-eyed.
Yeah. I just find doing that, especially when you're doing black eyes, to do a little white highlight gives it some life and personality. That's why I like to
It's
do it.
interesting because of the way that the mouth is shaped and the slight differences in the eyes.
Mhm.
If I look at this grung from one side, they look super angry, and the other side, they just kind of look apathetic.
Yeah. Fair. I see what you're talking about. I absolutely see that too. Mm-hmm.
It's like, I guess I'll shoot someone. Sure.
There you go. All right. and
Yeah, one
then-
angle definitely looks like it's like, I don't know if you're innocent. It's above my pay grade. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do.
Right?
Yep.
Listen, adventurers. I'm minimum
Mhm.
wage. Okay, I'm just here.
Well, you got to be harassing me on my wall, you know?
I'm going with some silver and putting that onto the tip of the arrow. Pretty straightforward.
Tiniest bit of silver.
I like how it's
All I
just
need.
called silver. I thought
Silver.
it was gonna be like,
No,
I
it's
don't know,
just-
dragon silver.
Well, I mean, that's what's funny. A lot of the other metals are like, glorious gold and hammered copper and other things like that. And it's like, nah, silver.
Nah. That was the day the person coming up with the paint color names was just,
Mm-hmm.
they were sick. They wanted to go home.
Yep. What
But
did
it's
you
been a
name it?
long
I have
day.
that joke about Pokemon because I haven't
Oh?
played in a long time since I was like very
What's the
young.
joke?
And so my joke is like some of the newer Pokemon to me strike me as like the people at the Pokemon company came in and were like, "All right, Bill, you have to come up with 30 Pokemon today. Or I'm gonna kill your family." And they're like, "Oh God, Stapler Mon, Cupcake Mon, ice Cream Mon, Typewriter Mon." Jingly Keys Mon, which is apparently an actual one called Klefki. And I'm just like,
This is
who
amazing.
looked at a pair of keys and was like, this is gonna be, I was like, no, that's what happened is some evil boss came in and was like, 30 Pokemon by the end of the day or it's your job, Bill. And Bill was like, oh God, Muffin Mon. Muffin Mon.
What do I see around the room? What do I see around the room? Lamp Mon.
Stack of papers.
Oh my
A
gosh.
candle. That one
Candlemon.
counts. His name is Little Liddy.
Grunklemon. There you go. Grunklemon.
Speaking
He
of-
does look like a little Pokemon, though. He does. Well, that silver is popping.
It
Yeah.
does. A little goes a very, very long way. And I love it. Okay. So now,
bro.
me too.
Okay.
Now we're going to go to Rust Monster. And we're going to thin that out just a little bit and paint the quiver. And then also, that little business that's kind of going on around the hand, it's easier to see underneath. That will also get some Rust Monster, that little bit there. Like the handle of the bow. Did I say quiver? The bow.
Bow.
So quiver and bow. Just a little
I
bit.
painted that white because I thought it was a feather. Now I'm realizing 'tis not a feather.
It's okay. White will still absorb the new color, so you're good.
That's true.
You're all good. No worries here.
Oh, I might have watered that down too much. Nope. Come back here, Rust Monster.
That's what you normally don't want to say in combat.
Come back here.
Come back, Rust. Oh no, I dropped my Grung. Where'd it go? There it is. Tiny little guy.
As long as you dropped it and not Lauren into the vat of paint.
Into the yeah, exactly.
You
Also-
dropped it, it's okay.
Yeah. Also, at this point, at least if I drop it on the floor, I will be able to see it because I have
Right.
dropped before we started. I did drop this grung on the floor, and then I was convinced I was going to step on it trying to find it.
Oh, because it was still in its prime state of.
Yeah. Yep. It just blended right into the carpet, and I'm like, well, that's it. It's gone forever. Sorry, V. I can't
That is
join you
where
to
it
paint
lives.
today. I've dropped my grung.
I would have walked you through one of the other grungs. You would have been good. I got you. I got you.
Sorry, my brain today. I'm just like, honey, I dropped the grung.
Yep.
Honey, I dropped the grung and I can't find it.
Okay, that is the campaign name. Honey, I dropped the grung.
Honey, I dropped the grung.
All right, let me just write this adventure now in the back of my head. I'll be here. Just thinking about grung. I'm here for it. I have dropped the base, the clear bases. I have dropped one of those, and then days later found it when I stepped on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, better than stepping on a Lego or anything, but still.
Yeah, or
a bit of a shock.
D4.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh man,
I still hold the Matchbox cars are the worst things to step on, and I've stepped on all of them.
Someone was very sweet and sent me like a Christmas themed like little mini tree.
Ooh.
And my cat was obsessed with it. Just absolutely obsessed with it. Obsessed with knocking all the ornaments off of it and stuff. And then it started to die, and I was like, okay, it's time to go into the garbage, And it was only a small little tree, but even while it was sitting to go out in the compost, like he still kept messing with it, and apparently like made off with a couple of branches. So for like 4 months, I would just be walking and get like a dried up pine needle, like right in the foot, and it was so sharp. And I was like, what is it with Christmas trees? The second they dry up, they become the sharpest substance on planet Earth.
Oh,
They really do.
They
It's
really
bad.
do.
Oh, it's bad.
This is horrible.
Not fun. Okay, so we're going to go back to dark flesh tone, thin that out so it's a nice glaze, and we're going to put that onto the arrow, shaft, and the bow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark flesh. Let's see.
But nice and thinned out to do its thing.
Every time I think we've gotten to the point that we've reached,
Finished?
this is the most small detail. V goes smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on. Work with me, tiny, tiny brush.
Itty bitty brush for itty bitty boy.
Exactly.
And I'm definitely also at that age in where trying to find the optimal placement of this grung away from my face, but not so far away that I can't see the details.
Yeah, the fun of the trombone
And we're
syndrome.
putting this where?
It's going to go on the bow
Okay.
and then onto the shaft of the arrow.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So it creates this little bit of a warm brown. Just like that. Pretty straightforward. Ta-dum!
That's so cute.
Yeah.
His head looks so good. The
Good!
rest of him, don't ask me about, but his head looks great.
Yay!
The rest of him, I sometimes a demon possesses me and my hands don't do what I want them to do. But his head and his little eyeball highlight and his little dots, he looks pretty great. Yeah.
Good. Aw, look at that.
I was just thinking I'm pretty proud of his bow, but just don't look at his head. I'll just put my finger on his head
Okay.
while I'm showing off. There you go.
We Photoshop my head on your on your
Splice it.
body.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The minis,
Frankenstein
folks,
them together.
The minis, not the people.
Not the people.
No.
Yeah. Frankenstein monstering here.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, so now we're gonna have fun. You have your super glue handy?
Yes.
I can.
You can. We're gonna
can.
super glue this together.
Okay.
Ooh,
This
we're at
is
that point.
oh god. Vaheguru,
Yep.
Vaheguru. I'm gonna try so hard not to get this all over myself.
Okay,
Right?
if you want a trick, take your super glue to your paper plate and put a dot of super glue on that plate and bring the mini to the dot and don't put the glue on the mini.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So we are going to be dipping the Grung into the super glue.
Oh, I put my paper plate down. I guess I'm gonna need the paper plate.
Yeah.
You thought you were done with the paper plate. The
Never.
paper
Okay.
plate wasn't done with you.
Nope.
So make sure your super glue gets some air before you smush it together,
Mm.
because that'll make it more tacky. Usually like 10 seconds. You can even give it some air.
This is when chat is usually very helpful because we ask chat to be our stopwatches and tell us, all right, how long have we been holding this mini together?
Okay.
Sorry, chat. We miss you today.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to
All right, mine
get
slid into
those
the holes
tabs
pretty
in.
nicely. So
Same. And now we just want to let that rest in its sockets and make sure it's dried pretty well before we move on to the next step, which is going to be the washes. But you can see how it pops right in and lives on the stand now. Oh my gosh, how cute is this?
He is just a little boy just vibing.
Mm-hmm.
our little spider grung.
Fun.
You have to play
Spider
this
Grung,
character now,
Spider
Lauren.
Grung.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
Agreed.
Swarmkeeper Ranger. I've already got ideas.
Swarm keeper. Does that mean like he keeps mosquitoes and botflies from the swamp, or that he kills them?
I mean, why not both?
Mhm.
Go the Aquaman route of no, these fish aren't my friends. I control them. They are,
Yeah.
and so why not eat them as well?
Imagine controlling a swarm of mosquitoes. Like that's power.
That-
That's like real power.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want
Like
to
a
cross
swarm
anyone.
of mosquitoes.
Mm.
I'd swear my allegiance. I'm allergic to mosquitoes. So
Same.
that's like my arch nemesis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get bit by a mosquito and forget it. Like, I don't get a cute little bite. I get a massive welt that sticks around for weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a whole swarm of them are still silent. So you don't know that they're coming. And then the next thing you know, you've just walked into a cloud of mosquitoes and it's the worst.
And you could load them up with like healing potions and use them on your friends. They administer first aid by like you know?
All right, friends, come get your fill. Now go on over there.
Give him a shot.
That one right there.
And your
Make them feel
friends
better.
Your friends would love you and hate you because on one hand they have an itchy mosquito bite, but on the other hand they got some health back.
Yep.
Mhm.
Why
Would they
must you
take
heal this
piercing
way?
damage at the same? That's like,
Yeah, like they take 2 piercing damage, but they heal 3d4.
there you go. There you go.
Just a little bit of emotional damage if you want to be healed by me. That's all.
That's so much fun.
No big deal. No big deal at all.
I love this mini. Thank you so much, V. I know we're not
You're
finished,
very
but I'm
welcome.
just
No, we're not. But this is a cute
like,
one.
I love this little guy.
Yay.
Yeah, the way they pop off the wall is amazing.
It's
Both
something
physically
different.
and the color.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little something fun and different to do.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm thinking we can have some fun with washes now. So what we're gonna do is take the. I never know how to say this word. We talked about this before. Is it Jublix slime?
Oh,
the green
I think it's
wash.
Jublix. Unfortunately,
Jublix.
Matt Mercer doesn't say it on
Doesn't
D&D
know
Beyond, so
shit
I
on
can't
D&D
tell.
Beyond. Tried to be good. Nope.
No.
And then, God forbid, you ask a whole bunch of people about, hey, how do you pronounce this? And you're not gonna get the same answer.
Nope.
You will not.
Because like I've said, for me, well, how is the DM pronounced it? That's how I'm pronouncing it. If I'm the DM, then whatever comes out of my mouth is now true.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna take this. It's basically a emerald green wash. So take that wash. This one I believe is pretty hyper like very pigmented.
Okay.
So yeah, that's super duper. So I'm gonna thin it out just a little bit.
Okay.
So it'll still be a wash, but it won't be like, hi, let's just be a borderline glaze. And we're gonna put this on the stuff that has leaves.
Oh, okay. So my step was a pretty good one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am gonna use a
makes
little
sense.
a smaller detail brush to apply this though, just so it's not getting inundated. But yeah, we're gonna put this onto the leaves now.
Hey.
Just a little bit will do ya.
I mean, even though we're doing a wash, I think everything is just some of the tiniest brushes I have ever used. I just pulled them all out. There's no big brushes happening with this.
No, not at this point. But that'll start giving it some fun depth. And then when this dries, because we have that lighter green working for us, it's really gonna pop out all those details.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why I stuck this on ahead of time is so that we weren't trying to hold a mini that's getting covered in wash and pull the paint off.
Ah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And see, just a little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, because even though it's a little awkward to get around his back, it's a lot easier to hold now that I've got him on the stand.
Exactly.
You know, my favorite dry brushes are all makeup brushes, like old makeup brushes. Yeah, they're so
Interesting.
good. Yeah, they're really densely packed and they're like designed to go in multiple directions, and so I love dry brushing with an old makeup brush. They always do such a good job.
Have you found the beauty of those nail art,
Yes, nail art brushes are fire too.
but also these? For dotting things and
Oh,
putting
the
lines on
dotting
stuff.
things.
Yes. They're great. Highly recommend.
It's just funny because I don't know how to do my nails at all. And I was talking about that on a painting stream and people were in disbelief. They're like, but you can paint all these details on a mini. And I was like, yeah, because I use my right hand.
Yeah. This is a two-handed
I was
maneuver.
like,
Right.
yeah. I was like, I can paint my left hand, but I can't paint my right nails. I just can't. They look horrible. So very jealous of ambidextrous people.
I mean, it's cool when you can do that. I just can't paint my nails because for some reason my nails refuse to hold nail polish.
Oh.
Really?
Like even gel, like people are like get gel. Gel will totally work. It'll stay on for ages. You'll get 3 weeks out of it. 3 days, which is longer, but 3 days, and it just slicked. It like I don't know what it is about my
Slid
nails.
right off.
I was like, oh, huh, look at that. Nope. So I admire people who can get really gorgeous nail art done because it looks so cool. I'm like, I would get that done and it'd be ruined by the next day.
See, and that would be my problem, would be as soon as it starts to flake or chip or there's a problem with it, now I'm picking at my nails. Now I'm back to I can't be a DM if I have to be picking at my hands because I got a fingernail that's just not cooperating with me. So
It's not it. All right, so then we'll take sepia and that's going to go onto the Grung's skin. But again, check and make sure it's not too thick of a coloration. You might want to thin that out too. Test first. Mine's actually nice and thin. So that's the sepia right there. So it wasn't too bad. But if it comes out any
Sepia wash,
darker,
there we go.
then definitely thin that out.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. No, I had a moment where I thought it was going to be a difficult cap to get off.
Oh. Oh, nose.
But no, we're good. We're good. It's
Okay.
behaving.
You
And
be
he
like
said the
that.
skin?
The skin of the Grung.
All right.
Grung skin.
Mm-hmm.
See, now that'd be a good color.
Just about
Pink
to
color.
say, yeah. There's a cobalt scales in this set.
Yeah, next time call me if you need color names. I'll come up with some great ones.
There you go.
You know, beholder toes,
Nice.
mind flare armpit.
Ooh.
There already is the illithid.
There
Is it
is
illithid skin?
Yeah, illithid skin, which is like this
Yeah.
lavender, lilac.
And
Is
then-
there illithid toes?
There is not illithid toes. See, they missed. Okay, instead of dead flesh, they could have done zombie toes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That would have been cool. That would have been very cool.
Also, I'm still stuck on Mind Flare armpit. Like, would it be darker? Would it be lighter? Would it be?
And you would find out with that paint color.
There you go.
Like
We've had
canonically, yeah, you'd be like, oh wow, okay. I guess now I know the color of a mind flayer's pits. When the mind flayer goes to the beach.
Listen, we're all DMs here. We've had to look up some really weird things for
Really
games.
weird
We're
stuff.
on lists. We are
Really
absolutely on
weird
lists
stuff.
because of DMing.
Yeah.
There is
Yep.
no question about that one. I'm like, yep, that put me on a list.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there
Oh,
I shall live
man.
now. Ooh.
I remember Vampire the Masquerade has probably put me on the most lists because I've had characters be like, well, I mean, I could probably eat this much or that much and not harm the person, right?
How
And I've
much
had to
blood
look up
before- yep.
how much blood before a person bleeds out.
Mhm.
Not at all concerning. No.
Hi, FBI. How's it going?
Would you like to join me for my World of Darkness game? It's just happening right over here.
Hello,
Right?
FBI.
Oh, difference between a conscious body and an unconscious body, because that does come into play when they're supporting themselves and when they aren't.
I remember looking up the volumetric, like, space that a body would take up if you, like, folded it.
I've had to look up the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like, being like, well, they would fit in the chest, wouldn't they? And I'd be like, ticky tack, and then I say it again. Hello, FBI. How's it going, guys?
Mine was specifically my players were trying to fold them skinny to put into a handy haversack because they didn't have a bag of holding. The handy
Oh.
haversack only
Yeah.
has a smaller opening, and I'm like, well, here comes
we go.
that search result.
Here we go. All right, I'm putting umber onto the bow, the arrow, and the quiver. Again, check and thin it out. If it's too thick, it's basically a brown wash.
Gosh, there you
The
are.
umber. And then I'm also going to put it, if you want to, you don't have to put it onto the vines, but you could also add it to the vines if you so chose.
All right, you said the bow.
The bow, the arrow, and the quiver.
Okay. I heard you say it, and half of it stuck in my head, and the other half just refused.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
Like, you didn't need to know everything that V just said, right?
We'll give you 50% of what was stated.
And oh no, this is going to be a challenge.
The quiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The quiver is a little bit of a...
And then you can also do
Journey.
the fletching on the arrows with that umber.
Ah, and this will fix my previous
There you
mistake
go.
of just
Yep.
painting it.
Ta-da!
Hey, look, individual arrows have come out again. Yay.
Bing!
Washes fix everything.
Washes definitely help.
Washes
then-
fix everything.
They definitely. And then we'll go to black wash, which again, check its saturation. And that, if you want, you can put it onto the stonework. Or you can also put it onto the eyes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where's my black wash? There's my black wash. Okay.
Literally just need a dot. Just the dot.
Oh, there you are.
And what that's going to do is it's going to make that little white dot not as stark, so it looks more organic as opposed to cartoonish. But you still get that eye highlight happening.
Doop,
Yep, little bloops.
bloop. And then all over the stonework, you said.
Mm-hmm. And you could do two things. You could do a full coat, Or sometimes what's fun is to go in and just put it in at the cross sections of the brickwork.
Ah.
And what it does is it creates sort of that aged look that bricks will get in the mortar area.
Well, I'm just trying to avoid the leaves and the vines. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah.
Can I be strategic with my wash? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I will try futilely to show it at my camera, but there you go. That blob. That's me.
I did the thing.
I did it.
I did it.
Well, I'm feeling pretty confident about the super glue holding on the grung at this point because while dry brushing isn't the most aggressive of brushing, I feel like if it was going to fall off, it would have by now.
Would have.
Yeah.
Oh, it
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
would have gone. Hello, I am here. Find me.
And we've gone right into my paper plate.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, we don't want that. No. That's a no.
This little guy has so much personality.
Yeah. Fun. So there you go. That is our cutie pie grung. All done up and cute and ready to go.
I love him.
Isn't that fun?
I love the little dots on his head.
Yeah.
It just
He's
it
a
helps
good
give the skin
boy.
interest. Absolutely.
If any of my players attack him, it's a TPK. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna
future
just
players.
put him on the battle map, and if anybody is like, what about him? I attack him. That's just like, okay, rocks fall.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody dies. Roll new characters.
Start again.
I
Let this
didn't
be a
say
lesson.
this grung was in the initiative order.
This grung was just hanging out, watching,
He
enjoying.
was sitting on a wall. Yeah.
Aw, poor little grung. So yeah, if you want to, definitely let this dry because we just did all of these washes and everything. Give this at least 24 hours to dry. Then you can go and you can do your seal coats. And again, what I would do in this case, you could have a lot of fun and make those eyes pop, and you could take the Mod Podge Ultra that I like to use and use the gloss on the eyes and the tip of the arrow.
Oh.
And then everything else you can do in the Mod Podge Ultra Matte to do that on the rest of that. So that could be your options. Or if you want to use the varnishes that you might have from your varying groups of mini paint lines, that would mean a gloss on the eyeballs and a matte version varnish onto the grung itself. You could have fun if you have satin. You could do satin on the skin just to give it a little bit of a shimmer. And then do a matte on the stone, and you could even do satin on the leaves. If you like, there are ways to have fun with varnishes too, all said and done. But don't do anything until everything has had a chance to dry at least 24 hours. You basically want the acrylic plastic to cure before going into varnishes. So that's something that we will do off screen on our own. And then there's always those fun little clear discs that come now with the WizKids miniatures, the things that used to be the little black discs. And you can put it onto the base of the stand. However, I will say the stand itself is about on the mark. If you want to keep it base disc free, you could actually do that. But yeah, that's pretty much the finishing up process for this miniature. And then what'll happen is I'm sure we will all share our cutie patootie on our social media after the stream is done, so everyone can take a look at the up close and personals and all that goodness. But before we start wrapping things up, Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for
This
allowing me to
blast.
paint this little friend of mine.
They're adorable.
Yay. Oh,
I
God.
absolutely love them. I love them, like their faces like
I'm just here for the arrow.
that's my attempt at the grunk face. It's like
I love it though.
it's so good.
Okay, so where can everyone find you after you say your goodbyes here? Because
Yeah, of
people definitely
course.
did check you out.
Yeah, you can find me at that bronze girl everywhere. I have the same handle on everything. I do some comic book related content, do some tabletop content. Like I said, Tuesday nights I stream Shikar on my channel. Wednesday mornings, Last Call for Adventure. I DM both of those games. Sometimes we paint miniatures on Mondays. And yeah, You can find me everywhere at the Frost Girl. I have a YouTube channel too. That's me.
It's good stuff. Definitely
Nothing
worth
too
following because
fancy.
there's, yeah, you do some amazing things. So definitely worth the follows. Go everywhere you can possibly find and do the click and follow button thing.
And
Especially on the
and
YouTube.
get Isra and support Girls Who Code.
Look at that
yeah.
face. I mean, come on. Come on.
She's
look.
adorable. If you like this
She's so
Grung,
cute.
you'll definitely like her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a sweetie pie, and she'll bring much fortune to you and your family.
I mean, hey, to you and your formation. Bring fortune to you.
Yeah, I
and
was
your
about to
formation.
say lots of fortune to the formation for sure. All the clicking. And also just the grin. Just the happy
Right?
grin.
You gotta check
I want
this.
kind of a side by side of our Grung next to this key
Aw.
art.
Yeah.
Like all the
Yes,
happy
that would be
little
cute.
orange faces going,
Yeah, they
Happy little
definitely
things.
hang out together.
oh sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And then don't forget, we have some more coolness happening on Monday. It is the finale of Idol Champions Presents The Fury of the Black Rose. So tune in and catch B-Dave as DM and our fantastic cast. We have, let's see if I can do this. We have Gabe, Johnny, Ellen, Mark, and who am I forgetting? Oh, Ree.
Ah, there we go.
Ree. There we go. So catch them. It is the finale. See how everything wraps up. You might want to tune in because, we have some giveaways that are kind of really, really cool thanks to WizKids and some stuff for Idol Champions as well. So that is going to get started at 10 a.m. Pacific right here on this channel Monday morning. If you missed the live show, you can always catch the rebroadcast at 4 p.m. on the same day. But that's not all, folks, because I do believe the word has gotten out at this point. We have some coolness that is going to be happening after ICP Fury of the Black Rose is done, and that is going to be our newest D&D stream, which is A Familiar Quest is coming back. So we have a Familiar Quest Series 3 is happening, and we have some familiar faces coming back with different roles and everything like that. So we have Eugenio Vargas. He is going to be our Dungeon Master. Megan Kenrick is coming back as Squiddle. Brian Gray is coming back as Disco. Kelly Butler is coming back as Scotty. And Alicia Marie is coming back as Misty. So we actually have 3 of our former charity familiars coming back in and joining the cast. And it should be a lot of fun. That is going to be getting started on Monday, April 3rd. However, it airs at 5 p.m. Pacific, so just keep that time shift in mind. But yeah, make sure you tune in and check that out after you're done catching up or watching your Fury of the Black Rose. We'll have some more D&D fun for you starting April 3rd with this fantastic cast. And then is there anything else? I think. Oh yeah, there's one other thing. If you haven't checked it out yet, and I unfortunately don't have an image for this one, but our buddies over at Penny Arcade, they are doing a fantastic Kickstarter.
Yes.
So go and check that out. I think we can have the link floating around in the chat for everyone to click the link and get on over there. But yeah, they have this Kickstarter going until April 8th, and they're working on pulling together funds to get a very cool D&D campaign going. So follow the link.
And I'm a part of that. I'm a part of the acting family.
Isn't it great? Yay!
It's like it all comes together.
It's like it was all
Yeah,
planned or
yeah. I
something.
play Omen Drawn's kid,
Mhm.
Certainty Drawn.
And
is,
amazing.
A whole lot. She's a lot.
Mhm.
you know?
Yes. But a good a lot, I will say.
Yeah.
A very
Yeah.
good lot.
All the best qualities of Omen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe I burned my dad's company to the ground. I don't know. Who can be sure? Really, truly. I mean,
You know,
there's
And
no
if you did-
evidence.
If you did, then it absolutely deserved it, right?
Well, yes, 100%.
There were reasons for it, okay? So yeah, make sure you check out that Kickstarter again. That wraps up April 8th. So you still have a little bit of time to check it out. And then again, we'll just, one last little reminder. Don't forget, you have the adorable Isra that you can pick up now. First week of net proceeds will go to Girls Who Code. So basically you have until March 28th to get in on that. So don't miss out. And then you can have this cutie pie hopping around and helping out with your champions and collecting stuff and all that goodness. So I think we'll leave it at that. Jasmine, again, thank you so much for joining us and painting these grungs with us today.
Of course. I had a blast. Thank you so much for having me.
Yay!
It was amazing. Thank you for joining us and showing off your adorable painting skills on these adorable minis. And now you can go back to painting all your Warhammer stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Until next week, everyone, take care and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.